don't forget. Some things mustn't be forgotten. The shadow hunting me. I must hurry. My name is Daniel. I live in London at Mayfair. What have I done? This is crazy. Don't forget. Don't forget. I must stop him. Focus. My name is I am Daniel.
And with that, hello everyone, this is Tiger here and welcome to Amnesia Dark Descent. So, yes, for people actually knowing this channel, well, for quite some time, which means, for the people knowing this channel for, like, under 50 subscribers, you know that I actually already played this, but happened to delete my videos for some reason. Well, there are quite some reasons, quite a lot of reasons basically why I did that, but I don't want to talk about those reasons, not at the moment. First of the right off the bat, why do these...
Hi, my name is Thomas Grip, and I'm one of the co-founders of Frictional Games. I worked with engine code, gameplay code, design, and many other things for Amnesia. In my commentaries, I will mainly focus on the design behind the different parts of the game. I hope you'll enjoy them.
By the way, I think I already, like, played through this. I did, basically. And I just started a new game, not some crazy, well, New Game Plus thing. So this is new to me. Like, really new to me. I don't know what the fuck this is.
The name of this level is Rainy Hall, and it's supposed to be a combination of atmosphere setter and tutorial for the player. We wanted the player to start the game in a slow way so they could settle in and get used to how the game works. Amnesia is not a game with constant action happening all the time, and we wanted to have a constrained map where the player gets used to this. The only thing you need to do is to follow the track and get to the end of the level. Also, following tracks is something that becomes very useful in later levels, so we try to teach players this from the start.
Honestly, I'm not even joking. This might be a quite nice thing in doing this Let's Play. Because, well, listening to these actually gives some amazing backstory of the game. So I might try to find every single one. I'll try my best, basically. Wow, this is amazing. Wow. I'm surprised that they actually did something like this. Well, I noticed that there was an update. It wasn't that big. It was really fastly done. But this is... if this stretches out through the whole game, that would be quite amazing. I'm not joking. Okay, this typical running. Well, now we're fading more or less again, and crawling on the ground as if we're about to die. Also, excuse me for making really weird and subtle mouse movements. Because of my old mouse breaking, I'm currently using the mouse that was actually given with the PC I bought, like the standard mouse that I've gotten from buying this PC. Like there was a probably like $2 set, more or less, keyboard and mouth inside of that, and well, because my good mouth broke, I have to use this one. And well, problem is this: the sensor isn't that bad, but if we start shaking a little bit, you can say the mouse can't keep track, which is fine, I guess, but if I do some crazy weird movements, like if I want to turn really fast, like, or something like that, it's probably not going to work. Alright, let's actually enter the old archives. Alright, apparently those things actually stretch longer than I thought they would be. Well, I hoped it would last for the whole game, and apparently it seems like that. So, let's listen.
This is one of the first levels that we created for the game, and it was initially part of the archives level, which we will reach in a bit. Amnesia started out with a pretty different design, and when we redesigned it, the maps did not fit. This caused us to split them up and scatter them out. So in the first design, after this corridor, the archives level was supposed to follow, and the room lying there now was built much later. In fact, the first designs did not have Daniel waking up with an amnesia at all, and it was actually added later on. In the first story draft, Daniel still had hidden memories, but he was unaware of this at the start of the story. However, as we redesigned things, we found the waking up with amnesia thingy, although a bit cliché, much more fitting.
Yeah, it actually is quite fitting to a game like this. So, let's actually go down here. I would love there to be one here, like seriously. Like, you go over here and you see like those cockroaches, or what they are resembling actually, just appearing. Like, why is that? And they just simply disappear. Like, why is that the thing? I mean, we're kind of going insane, yes, but I don't know, it seems to be a little bit too early on in the game, but I don't know. Anyways, let's actually continue on. There's nothing, I think, back here. No, there isn't. Alright then, let's just go inside. Oh, two of them. Nice. Introduction.
My name is Luis. I'm mostly a tool programmer, JavaScripter at times, and perhaps the main reason why the rest of the core team at Fictional Games is pretty much forced to speak English at our internal meeting, as I am the only non-Swede here. Now, what a Spaniard is doing with a bunch of Swedish guys is a whole different story with what we're discussing today. By the way, I will be talking mostly about tools and scripting. Hope you like it.
Alright.
The editors themselves went through a lot of design changes during the development. Not that many in visual appeal as in internal stuff, like data structures and handling. This happened mostly because at the beginning we only knew the basic stuff that needed to be in them, and as they grew in features and functionality, they started to kind of fall apart, mostly due to my big lack of previous experience in projects like this. Right now, aloud, what the hell still sounds in my head when I look at some parts of the code, but I am still proud of them. They can also get a bit buggy at times, but hopefully this won't happen again in the future, and I already got some nice ideas for the next iteration of the tools.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if it's loud enough. I'm just going to ramp this up to 2. Let's actually get the lantern, the main thing of the game. Let's actually pick up the tinderbox inside. I don't think there's anything else over here, like oil or something. At least I don't remember there to be. Huh. No, it doesn't seem like that. Anyways, let's continue on. Alright. So, I need to press F to enable the lantern. Pretty easy. And... yeah. I think here was some oil, maybe, I don't know. No. I think, yeah, oil was pretty rare in this game, wasn't it? Or was it? I don't know anymore. Alright. Oil. Alright.
Hello everyone, my name is Mikael, and I'm the writer for Amnesia, The Dark Descent.
Oh, nice.
I think we can all feel the story kick-starting as we finish the letter from Daniel. The game itself is just filled with confusion, and I think we're really doing the player a service keeping it simple in the beginning. Basically try to take your revenge on Alexander, that is the premise of the game. You don't really need to dive any deeper than that, but hoping that the player will care about the story, they have the entire game in front of them to decide if they think killing Alexander is justified or not.
Alright, so let's actually pick up the oil, and let's actually read the note.
19th of August, 1839. I wish I could ask how much you remember. I don't know if there will be anything left after I consume this drink. Don't be afraid, Daniel. I can't tell you why, but know this. I choose to forget. Try to find comfort and strength in that fact. There is a purpose. You are my final effort to put things right. God willing, the name Alexander of Brandenburg still invokes bitter anger in you. If not, this will sound horrible. Go to the inner sanctum, find Alexander, and kill him. His body is old and weak, and yours, young and strong. He will be no match for you. One last thing. A shadow is following you. It's a living nightmare, breaking down reality. I have tried everything, and there is no way to fight back. You need to escape it as long as you can. Redeem us both, Daniel. Descend into the darkness where Alexander waits and murder him. Your former self, Daniel.
I don't know why, but this the last thing where he basically says your former self, Daniel. Like, this actually gets me every time. Like, I always have this chill down my spine, and ugh, it's so amazing. I really love this game. No joke. No freaking joke. But anyways, let's enter the entrance wall. And here we are at a little bit of a bigger place, seemingly filled with more editor notes.
Alexander, is it inside the castle?
In a manner of speaking. Come, bring the lamp. You've been to the refinery, have you not?
I don't believe I have. Is it connected to the... what did you call it?
The inner sanctum. My most precious chamber, Daniel. And it lies well beyond the refinery. In fact, it lies beneath the very stone of Brandenburg.
Such a beautiful game. So, then we got probably most of the things. I can get it from here. I don't know if it's everything. I don't know. Anyways, Mark Nikender. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Excuse me. Anyways, introduction.
Hello, my name is Mark Nikender. I'm a 3D artist and level creator at Fictional Games. I started out as a helper during Penumbra Overture, and I was finally hired as a full-time artist in the later part of Penumbra Black Plague.
Alright. Two games I like. I fairly much like. Penumbra, a great series. Seriously.
The entrance hall was first shown in our first gameplay trailer, and while the layout hasn't changed much, the details certainly have. We build our levels from sets of pieces, in this case, the custom-based set. While the carefully planned set pieces made level building very easy, the levels became very similar and we had to make special pieces to the levels. Now, 1.5 years later, the special pieces make up about half of the pieces in the custom-based set, and we made changes to incorporate these objects into the earlier levels. An example of this can be seen if you compare the hole in the roof now with the one from the first trailer. The new roof was made in the middle of the project, when you built level 9 back hall. A special version was made to give the roof hole in the entrance hall more depth and detail.
Alright, let's look at this. Okay. So, I don't know if I'm going to remember this if I edit this video, but if you want, I mean, the Amnesia trailer should be easy to find. So, alright, next note.
Scattered throughout the game, you can see some signs written in Latin. The reason for using it is that it was considered a language of culture and science, as most scientific and philosophy authors wrote their works and treatises in it. As we are dealing with a castle dwelled by a pretty smart guy that has been around since the Renaissance period, Latin all around the place was something we should expect. Being the only guy in the team that had a direct contact with Latin, in high school to be more precise, well, it was kind of logical that any translation to be done would have my name on it. Translating stuff into Latin was kind of strange and fantastic to do. At first I had a classic Latin dictionary, so if I had to translate any modern term, I would have to track its etymology down to the Latin equivalent, or look for a synonym or similar expression that had a direct translation. Then I had the luck to come across some dictionary for modern stuff online that addressed most of this stuff for a huge lot of terms, so it couldn't have come in a better time. Some days I would have Sebastian dropping a list of 9 or so entries to be translated, and before finding this dictionary, it was quite a lot of work. On a side note, we even had a choose your Latin poll on a couple entries, just to pick the one that sounded better for everyone. Results were pretty unanimous, by the way. For some final words on this, I must confess that, while I was pretty good at this in high school, that was like 15 years ago, so right now I'm not 100% sure translations are correct at all, but I took the time to make them at least plausible, so my apologies go in advance to any Latin guru up there playing the game, as I myself get on the verge of losing my temper when I see stuff like this obviously made up.
Alright. The last one is up there. I'm honest. Oh, forgot that actually happened. But anyways, those editor notes scattered around here are amazing. I mean, this makes the game feel more like, yeah, there were actual like people you can probably relate with. I don't know if you're probably like doing something like this. I mean, with the programmer dude we had before, I actually can relate to him, kind of, because I started programming 2 years back. I learned it from my school and I'm still learning it, and a friend of mine actually kept his and some of mine and some of my other friends takes on programming, and we simply had the urge to look at them now, and yes, I realized how shitty I was at programming before. Just throwing that out there. I'm not saying that I'm a pro now, but it's definitely a change. Alright.
If you haven't followed our development blog back when it started, you might have missed one of the biggest changes in our production pipeline. 2 years back, we started a toolset side project to ease and speed up the creation of content for the game. I'd say the level editor, which is what we, or more specifically James, Mark and Marcus, have used to build all the halls and corridors you are working through right now, is the big start of the pack. Its workings in a nutshell: while all the models and assets are actually made in software like Maya or Blender, everything geometry-wise in the levels is put together in it. Then lighting and sweet details like decals and fog are added in. While this approach might sound simple, really nice stuff can come out from it, as you can see in the game.
Alright. So this is those are the archives, alright? Yeah, we can go to the archives. I don't think we can go down here, like over there. We might be able to, but I'm not going to do that because I think the archives are actually free. Yeah, they're free. We can go inside. Alright. This is interesting. Like, I don't know how interesting you guys think this actually is, but I think it really is interesting. Oh yeah, the first monster sound you can hear in the game. That's actually quite nice. I think it's a monster sound. Excuse me for my spelling and pronunciation and shit like that. But
16th of May,
my birthday.
1839.
Yay.
The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought and ordered the others to clear the way late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow, I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
Oh my god. So we're actually entering the catalogs. Oh, 2 notes for us to, well, actually hear about. Before we do that, let's throw the chair of the way. Alright, got the tinderbox, and I think left to right? No, I think it doesn't matter at which one we start. So, anyways.
To finish this little overview of our tools, I must mention the material editor, available both standalone and built into the other editors. The program itself is very simple to use. You have some material types defined by the engine, and you can throw in textures to be used for diffuse, normal maps, height maps, as well as some variables to control specific parameters for a material type. When I was writing it, I could just stare while the preview model rotated around itself and the parallax mapping effect was on when testing, just for fun.
Alright. Fun with furniture.
Another piece of the toolset is the model editor, used to create the entities you are interacting with while playing. Basically, we take a model and set up some parameters like physical bodies, joints, and user-defined variables. We can also attach sub-entities to them, like lights, particle systems. When an entity is finally set up, it is ready to be placed in a level using the level editor. Examples of entities here are doors, lamps, most furniture, critters.
Did he say printers? Did I understand him correctly? Did he say printers? This game doesn't have printers. I have to listen to that again in editing, but now. But did he say printers? What? That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, note. Wilhelm's contract. I hereby offer my full attention and service to Alexander, Baron of Bernburg. This contract will reign for a total of 3 years, when my freedom shall return to me. In addition, Alexander Baron of Bernburg is to recommend my services at the Prussian Royal Court and within the sanctum of the Order of the Black Eagle. May no man break this seal. Wilhelm, House of Geddish. Nice. So I think there's nothing here. Yeah, the catalogs, the study room. No, nice. Let's actually enter the study rooms. Before we actually listen to this note, we have another note. No. Oh yeah, tinderbox. Nice. And I think there's nothing else there. There probably is, but I don't know. Let's listen to this guy. The Thomas Grip. Problems with not being on? What?
This level was changed a lot, and I think it's one of the most tweaked levels that we got. Not only was it part of the big archives level that we had to split up, but it was also hard to get it engaging enough. The problem here is that we don't have any sort of fun mechanic that we rely on to make the game engaging. Instead, we rely on story, atmosphere, and environments. This is true for many other levels and the game as a whole, but These were kind of the one of the larger levels that we made, and also one that didn't have much puzzles and such. So when testing it, we quickly get bored with it, and we wanted to add more spooky events to spice it up. But then later on, testing proved that these events weren't that necessary, and we also felt that they were a bit lame and not fitting, so we decided to remove them. Then the back part of the level, we wanted to make that a more linear experience, with the current player getting trapped and all, forcing the player to solve the destroy wall and find secret door puzzles. Previously, testers often missed that they can solve these problems. The level is now very different from the early designs.
Actually, you know what would be amazing? Like just hearing about the, oh, this is a failed level. Like, we changed it up. Like, if they had the old versions of the level, like, could they upload them or something like that? Like, make a gigantic custom story, just placing each thing after another or something like that. I'm probably talking a lot of bullshit right now, but just give the player a chance to look at the levels that they created and thought were fitting at first. Like, I want to see those levels. I'm not even joking.
17th of May, 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
Oh, you surely were trapped, my friend. Oh my, I don't know. I really don't know. Ooh, scary. Old shit breaking. Old tombs. Ah, anyways, enter. Close. Ugh, books. Falling down on me. Do you want to kill me? Someone playing the piano again. I wonder who that might be. Playing piano without my supervision. you definitely played the wrong note there. That was perfect. And your timing, yeah, your timing was off. Just wanted to tell you that. These fucking noobs. I can play better than you. I can play better than you. Anyways, we have 16 tinderboxes already. Oh. How do I open my notes? Oh, there we go. The door leading to the local history room is locked. Is there another entrance? There probably is, man. There probably is. No. Oh my god. What? Really? That wasn't right now? Oh, gosh darn it. And yes, I most likely... Oh, yeah. Also, there's blood dropping. Probably blood. I wonder what's up there, actually. Can I... No, I can't see anything. Oh, that's sad. Oh, ooh. Oil. Nice. Writing from the beginning.
When I started writing, I had only outlined the framework for the story and the first few levels in the game design document, so I ended up finalizing a lot of material for the first levels, and then when those were done, we planned out the last 2/3 or so. This had a funny effect since I had to not only cater to the story but to stay true to the stuff I've written for the first levels. Usually you can go back and forth while writing and change things, but if you have already recorded voices, you really shouldn't because of the costs. So the first text really shaped the rest of the material in an interesting way and made them matter in a way I hadn't thought about. I really like how this thickens the story elements as I am able to jump back into the material and keep using and reinforcing certain concepts. Agrippa is of course the most extreme effect of this method, which grew from a small reference to becoming one of the most important characters in the game.
Yeah, actually Agrippa is one of the most important. Yeah, he really is. You really can't argue otherwise with like Agrippa and shit. Really, I think no, his ending is like the second best, I would say. Or is it the best one? I don't know. I mean, there are 2 good ones and 1 bad one, I think. Or something like that. Anyways. Let's pick up this node and... well, listen to what Daniel has to say about her.
17th May, 1839. After pounding the unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light. It was waiting for me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light. I reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
Alright, and before we continue on into this room, we need to get into this room and, well, listen to what Alexander and Daniel have to say.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the wards. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
Alright. Alright, pick up this, and that. And actually get to our first puzzle, quote-unquote puzzle.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Alright. There's some sort of secret door mechanism in the local history room. Huh? There really is. Alright, local folklore. I'll start at Brandenburg Castle 1801. Another region rich with lores is Altstadt. Yeah, German pronunciation. Yay. Anyways, deep within the East Prussian woods, for centuries there have been stories surrounding the whole hamlet and its neighbor, Castle Brandenburg. The quiet forest-clad mountains stretched with scattered lakes is as picturesque as can be, albeit the area is haunted by the dark. As any locality, you will hear proof of the widespread superstition. Naturalists should indulge themselves in such conversation, since it will certainly serve as exciting entertainment. All of them have their own twists on the tales, but there are some motives that keep reappearing. The Gatherers. This story reaches all the way back to the time of the 30 Years' War. It is that soldiers who abandoned their duty got lost in the cold, dark woods and were forever damned to roam the grounds. Their bodies, wrought by their tainted souls, have left them disfigured and empty of essence. Many have cited them over the years and described them as horrid revenants. They move silently through the woods, shying away from any beholder. They are called gatherers, as they seem to follow some ambition to steal living creatures. It is their prey which can be hard struggling inside damp burlap sacks dragged behind them, which reveal their presence. What dark scheme do they follow? A visit undone. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, ooh, the name reappears. The well-known erudite visited Altstadt at the start of the 16th century. He resided in a local inn for a fortnight as he looked for remnants of kingdoms past. During his stay, all the prominent members of society paid notice, and he is mentioned in many records of the time. One day he went to investigate a burrow in the northwestern glades, only to never be seen again. Heinrich is known to have passed away in Grenoble some 10 years later. He dismissed the notion of ever visiting Altstadt, which makes you wonder what really happened. Who was this mysterious man who visited the sleepy hamlet in the woods, and what happened to him? The immortal Baron, the Baron of Brandenburg, lives a reclusive life with his family at his castle nearby Altstadt, and like most of those of noble birth, rumors are inherited alongside with the title. Researching the history reveals little before the castle was consumed by fire in the late 16th century. It was rebuilt by Alexander, a nobleman from the Rhineland, claiming the role as protector of the Prussian state. Alexander helped the region to flourish and remained popular throughout his presumed lifetime. The family has always been secretive when it comes to lineage and heritage. Therefore, the birth and death of Alexander and his offspring has never been fully recorded. This has fed the idea that the Baron is in fact the one and the same who came from the west over 300 years ago, who lived through the time of occupation and joined the coveted Orders of the Black Eagle along with the great leaders of his country. So, reading aside, let's do the book thing. I didn't know which book are they swan? Yes. This was the first one, the second one is here, and the third one is this one. This is closed. And I don't think that there's anything, like, spectacular over here, so let's actually just enter the room. Open up this. And throw this away. We should get a key alongside with this. Regarding closing of the wine cellar. Willem and his fools have endangered my research long enough with their absent-minded handling of the human vessels. The sheriff is keeping a watchful eye on the forest and is killing my trusty servants. It's just a matter of time until they follow the trail to Brandenburg. I need to lock Wilhelm and his men up to avoid further investigation from the public. The wine cellar will therefore be sealed off until the matter has been handled. Either the king's men live or they will starve. Well, whatever comes first, they can rot for all I care. Maybe I will feed them some wine. It would, in a sense, solve both of my problems. Probably. So this is the first scary thing. The wine cellar key, and there probably being a monster, you probably hide here, but when you realize, there's no speaking sound shit, you go investigate. And you go investigate further, and you see this monster. Yeah, that was this thing I wanted to show you guys. I think he left, right? Like, this sound is extremely creepy. Like this, because it sounds like he's right there, but when he really isn't. And, well, for anyone that likes a good sport to take, yeah, that's a good scare in my eyes. I mean, it isn't really the best scare you can get in a game like this, but it's certainly, well, it's a good start to a game. Like, a nice secret scare. Anyways, now that this character's all paranoia and shit, let's go back into the entrance hall. But, well, anyways, I'm going to end this episode real quick. Not real quick, but quickly enough. Holy shit, yeah, this red pure soul of the sun. What HP do we have? My sanity is just broken, that's all. But anyways, thank you everyone so much for watching this episode of Amnesia the Dark Descent. If you like this episode, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And for now, have a great time everyone. And peace out. I'm enjoying the shit out of this, really. But I need to quit. It's like past 10 in the afternoon. And it's Sunday. Some people might be wanting to sleep right now, so I can't actually record anymore. Great shit. Anyways, see ya then. Voice crack.